Director for Quality Improvement at Gita Institute of Management and Technology, Kanipla, Kurukshetra. And Sir has been the former professor and head Curriculum Development Center at NITTR, who superannuated in the year 2001 and then served as director in some of the engineering colleges and then took up the job of Director Quality Improvement at Gita Institute. Sir has rendered immense services for the past 50 years to the improvement of technical and vocational education in the country. And he is basically a civil engineer, and he did his MTech in civil engineering from Punjab Engineering College, PhD from Birla Institute of Science and Technology, Pilani. He is a fellow of Institution of Engineers, life member of Indian Society of Technical Education, and member World Association for Cooperative Education. He is also a member of Society for Continuing Engineering Education, Geotechnical Society of India, and many other professional bodies. Sir has been a consultant to a number of organizations like UNESCO, All India Council for Technical Education, EDSEL, that is Educational Consultant India Limited, PhD Chamber of Commerce, and he is a widely traveled person in India and abroad and has attended 2 world conferences. Sir, as I know him, is very passionate about bringing qualitative changes in technical education system, and he has been awarded and recognized for his services, and he has won number of awards including JGBS Top Rankers Lifetime Achievement Award in 2013, Lifetime Achievement Award conferred by Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering on 11 November 2013, Calcutta Convention National Gold Medal by Indian Society of Technical Education, Indian Builders Congress Gold Medal for his research work in civil engineering, Eminent Engineering Personality Award by Institution of Engineers, then felicitated by Sangam Kala Group as regional promoter for National Singing Talent Hunt, and he has been instrumental in bringing changes and introducing changes at the institute level and also contributed at national and international level. He executed UNESCO-sponsored pilot project for improving instructions in soil engineering and has published several books and developed good amount of non-print instructional resources. He has published 50 research papers in the field of civil engineering and educational technology, and these papers have been published in national and international journals. And at present also, he is totally devoted to the cause of technical education in the country. With these words, I once again extend very hearty welcome to Dr. Ellen Mittal to the induction training program through ICT, and also thank him for accepting our invitation to interact with the participants of the program on the important aspect of curriculum implementation. So with these words, now I request him to take charge of the session and have the interactive session.
Respected Professor Kulkarni, my dear fellow colleagues in the studio and dear friends at different centers in the country. It is my great privilege and pleasure to talk to you on a very important subject, that is curriculum implementation. I normally consider that curriculum implementation is the most important stage for developing suitable engineers for this country. Now, you know, lot of expansion has taken place and lot of stress is given on theory, and solving 5 questions out of 8. Well, that does not build up the requisite qualities into the students. Therefore, I planned to this topic, keeping in view the latest scenario, which is I'm already working with the live institution, so I know the problems, and therefore I'm starting my discussions on curriculum implementation. My colleagues seated at different centers and even in the studio may ask me any type of questions. I will be very glad, because I am not to cover a course for the sake of covering, but it must help you in effective implementation of the curriculum. And I'm very glad that my mentor, Professor Kulkarni, from whom I've been a student, at the same time learned many things about curriculum development, instruction resource development, and so many other aspects, teaching learning process, the basic principles of pedagogy. All my mentor is seated here, and I'm very happy that he is present here. I'm very thankful to you, sir, for your kind presence. Now, please uh, help me once. This one. Achha, this one. I hope what is written onto the uh, PowerPoint presentation is clear to you. As I mentioned, that curriculum implementation is the most important stage of curriculum processes. Curriculum processes, I mean, we have to find out the need and we have to conduct a need analysis. We have to design the program, and then we have to implement the program. We have to evaluate the program. These are the stages. I am only referring at the moment curriculum implementation, which is very, very important for the engineering colleges and polytechnics. Now, I mentioned here, and I've experienced it, howsoever good curriculum we may have. Even I say in my language, even if Lord Ramchandra makes the curriculum, who have all knowledge, authority, you can say. But if it is not implemented properly, if it is not implemented properly, it will not give the good results. Even if the curriculum is little inferior, but if implemented properly, it will deliver good results. Therefore, curriculum implementation at the institute level is very, very important. Going ahead, now we have to understand the purpose of curriculum implementation is to provide varied learning experiences. Varied learning experiences does not mean only lectures. Varied number I will discuss later. Different types of learning experiences need to be given to students with a view to develop appropriate competencies. Competencies are defined in the curriculum document. If not defined, the institutions have to make an effort to define the competencies, for ultimately the gainful employment must take place. So, the whole purpose of curriculum implementation is to provide varied learning experiences to the students so that they develop competencies which are required for gainful employment. This is the basic purpose. So, proper implementation of the curriculum require, we must understand this diagram. Actually, the originator of this diagram is Professor Kulkarni, sitting just in front of me. Now, we are using this diagram. It puts us to very in a systematic way. I try to be slow and explain before you the model. Now, you see, this is systems model applied to education. We have input of the students. Students are the input. 10 plus 2 students or matriculate, whatever the course level. They are the input to the system. We have a curriculum document which is either supplied by the affiliated universities or by the Board of Technical Education. This curriculum is made, but the making of the curriculum is an art. It's a science by itself. It's a science by itself which need to, now there is no time for that purpose. My topic is curriculum implementation, but it is not a cut and paste method that you could make the curriculum and give it to you. It must be very thoroughly understood. So input to the system are the students and the curriculum document. Then these students, let's say 10 plus 2 students, they undergo a process, 3 year or 4 year, depending upon the type of program. B.Tech program 4 years, diploma program 3 years. They undergo a process. Now, when the students entered here, they were raw. They were not knowing anything. Now, through the curriculum process, by curriculum implementation, they are given certain faculties, and they are distinct and different now. The output is it is an output from the system, and this output must possess the competencies which is required by the world of work. It means we must ascertain from the world of work what are the type of competencies required, which we call need analysis, basically. And then if we move forward, we will come this curriculum document will come out. The process now is run by certain resources. I hope my voice is audible. I hope PowerPoint presentation is clearly visible to you, because I'm not able to see from the screen. I know my screen. Now, in the resources, we have physical resources. It means buildings, equipment, furniture, and other allied aspects. Without the buildings, without the equipment, without the laboratories and workshops, we cannot, I mean, how we are going to teach. So the resources which are required to make this process to go, first is the physical resources. I have to add only one point here at the moment. Physical resources, say particularly laboratories and workshops, still in our country has an old concept. In the old concept, you have some equipment, and you purchase that equipment, you fill up the laboratories and workshop with that equipment. Today, the technology of it has changed. When the technology can give us so much, it's not always not necessary that we have the same machines which are there available into the industry. It's a debatable point, because no country in the world can prepare a person who is tailor-made for the requirement of the industry. But it's not possible. What is possible in him, possible to train students to have certain competencies in them. So therefore, we have to, the curriculum designers must understand that the equipment which is purchased into the laboratories and workshops, in the engineering college it will be different, in the polytechnic it will be different, in the ITIs it will be different. But anyhow, my job is to explain to you, without physical resources, curriculum implementation cannot take place. It requires, it's a basic requirement. Second thing is human resources. Human resources is primarily faculty, but it requires non-technical staff also. It requires class 4 staff also. It requires support staff also. But I'm limiting myself at the moment to faculty. Now, if the faculty is not competent enough, curriculum implementation cannot take place. Curriculum implementation is a process. It cannot take place. Faculty should have, to my mind, should have 3 qualities. They must be very good in subject matter. They must have industrial experience, and they must be pedagogically very sound. If these 3 qualities are not there, the curriculum implementation cannot take place. Curriculum may be very good, but it is requiring implementation. Who are going to implement? Teachers are going to implement. So teachers are basically the kingpin of the entire instructional process. Each of the teachers must have 3 things, I said. I'm stressing again. They must be good at subject matter. Head of department has to see this. Principal is to see at the institute level that the faculty, are they competent in subject matter? Do they know industrial practice, industrial or field practice? If they not, this is a fundamental requirement. And they must know, in addition, a pedagogical component, not component, proper training in pedagogy. Maybe 1 year or 6 months, it depends. But in phased manner, efforts has got to be made to train faculty in these areas. At the moment, neither the teacher, I'm sorry, I'm not saying, I'm not blaming anybody. The faculty is not neither competent in subject matter. The faculty doesn't have industrial experience, and faculty also does not have pedagogical experience. All the 3 are required to become a very good teacher. Then come the informational resources. Now, informational resources should be such. Information resources means books, laboratory manuals, data books, like that. And today computer is also there for our help. We can take help from the computer. I think you understand what I'm talking about. So proper instructional resources, either the teacher prepare himself, for which training is required, or some resource center like the TTTI, NITTTRs should supply the instruction resources to the technical institutions. But it's a huge task. It is not that simple. But without information resources, with a good library, I would say, until the students are made to learn, until most of the time should go, rather than teaching, should go to learning through by self-learning. So there's a lot of changes are required into the system. But informational resources, maybe print and non-print. No, non-print has been taken by the computers today. All those things which we have studied, like slide projectors, film projectors, epidoscope, models, etc., even films, all now we can do with the help of the latest development which are available to us. But information technology contains both print and non-print. Print means textbooks, print means laboratory manuals, print means data books and guides to let the teachers know how to teach also. Information resources is again very important aspect. Energy resources now. You see, in our country, electricity is not available most of the time. Reasons are so many. I'm not deliberating on that issue at the moment. But say in my own college, electricity is not available for most of the time. It means, should we stop teaching? Then we have to generate in-house electricity. So we have to generate in-house electricity so that our classrooms, our laboratories, our workshops, and computer centers, etc., are functional all the time. Drinking water is again very necessary. If the drinking water is not there, people require water to drink. A good drinking water. So energy resources, I mean that. This need to be at different institution level. Energy resources need to be thought of. It is a function at the state level, then the director's level, principal's level. It depends upon what is the type of institution, whether it is a self-financed institution or a government institution. I hope my voice is audible to you. I hope my pace of speaking is conducive to you. But energy resources are very important. Then come the financial resources. Now all these things can be purchased with finances only. Without financing, nothing will move. Even training of teacher will require finances. Sending them to industry will take financial resources. Purchase of books will require financial resources. Recurring and non-recurring. Recurring and non-recurring. I'm not telling now what is recurring, what is non-recurring. I think you know it. But financial resources are required for effective running of the process by the technical institution. Now I have talked about input students. I talked about curriculum. Now the students are also required to be such that they are able to understand the process. Now majority of the students today, if you take the scenario, they are not very good at English. It's not a fault of students because they come from rural area. Their medium instruction is Hindi. So what students are not, I don't think they are at fault. Total system is to be planned in such a way that the student understand the language which is being used by the teachers. They say it's a question which needs a lot of debate, a lot of interaction. Maybe I will provide some time. Now, in the process, I have written here learning experiences. I like to, from this lecture, if we understand only learning experiences, I will be very happy. Learning experiences, I mean varied type of learning experiences. I have put a star here. And instead of star, I have written a lecture. Presently, lecture, there is considerable stress on lecturing and lecturing. And lecture is going to be forgotten, my dear friends. Whosoever teach it, lecture mode of delivery is teacher-centered. I am active, students are passive. So there are other learning experiences which need to be thought of. Say, for example, art tutorials being conducted. Each has its own value. Are drawing classes being conducted properly? Are the seminars being conducted? Now, in the seminars, students learn by themselves. Tutorials are student-centered activity. The drawing classes are student-centered activity. Teacher just guides. Seminars are also students prepare for themselves. Then assignments, and it can be coupled also. Students are given assignments. They do themselves. Then lab and workshop experiences are also student-centered. teacher only guide. Now, industrial only practical training, very, very important to know how the world of work like, and can the knowledge and skill which is transmitted, can they do something with it in the industry? So industrial training and practical industrial practical training and project work. Now, project work imbibes the entire knowledge and skills to solve practical problems. Now, these things at the moment are at a low pitch. Everybody is cramming course of studies and answering 5 questions out of the 8, and which are going to be forgotten after the examination. So there, but from education principles point of view, more stress need to be given on learning to learn skills, independent learning skills, which will be, these are the things which are very, very important. The effective curriculum implementation will not take place until these learning experiences are not given the desired thrust and planned properly. The results will not come out. Now, coming to the output, we have to find out through institutional framework, that we call it formative evaluation, whether the competencies, we are not bothering about competency. In the institutions, we don't know, if you ask me, what are the competencies we are seeking for, hard and soft skills required for effective functioning. Now, this need to be ascertained, whether students are trained. There are so many questions will come in between. My mind is telling me there are a lot of absenteeisms, there are a lot of indiscipline coming up. There are so many things, and mass cuts. Many institutions are allowing people not to attend the classes. So how you are going to gain scientific knowledge if you do not study continuously, and if appropriate learning experiences are not being given? Therefore, but it is very important that we lay our whole emphasis of the process on output specification, at the subject level, at the course level. At the subject level, their objectives are different. At the course level, objectives, whole courses are combined together, become the objectives at this output level. This need to be understood particularly by the head of the department. Head of the department must understand why they are preparing people, what is the outcome specifications from the department. He must be very, very clear. Teacher must be very clear at the subject level whether the students are getting those competencies or not. Now then, when the students go to the world of work, now it is, again, I will answer it when the discussion takes place. It is very important to obtain feedback from the world of work. Those people who come for employing our students for campus interviews or otherwise, we have to ascertain from them what they feel about these students. Obtain feedback from them about the output specification, about are the students, what are the deficiencies they feel like. They may say, no, none of these students is employable. Well, don't worry about it, but obtain their feedback. And then later on, it can be synthesized at the institute level. But obtaining feedback and giving and comparing that feedback with the output of the system will help a great deal, which is not being done, need to be done. Yes, it is very much desired. Yes, and actual. So, this feedback from here. Now the question I replied, because I am on the active life. Those people who come for campus interview, say in my college, 30 companies visit the college every year. 30 companies come. If some time come, I will explain to you the methodology, how these linkages to be established. But those 30 companies coming to the college, we ascertain from them, ask from them, what you feel about the output which you have interviewed. They give us some clue. We pass that clue to our departmental heads, that these are the shortcomings are you understanding, my dear friends? Are you understanding me sitting here? Or I'm wasting your time? Are you understanding me, madam? Please tell me. No, you're not with me. What I say is, are you understanding with me? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Curriculum implementation is not giving a document and leaving to people to do whatever they like. It is a scientific process. Now, under that stage, as I mentioned, input need to be processed. Process will be done by the resources. This will be required. Then learning experiences, these are to be implemented. These are to be implemented later in spirit. And there will be output for this output. This process is to achieve this output. Now, then this output, when the students goes to the industry, means when the interview takes place, from them we are going to ascertain about the student. Now, we give a feedback to the department. Again, the feedback, one line is missed by me, is given to the process. Whether we must say, is it lecture only? Tutorials are being done by the student understand tutorials. Whether the drawing class is being conducted properly, you have to make questionnaires for this. Seminars, assignment, laboratory work, practical work, industrial training. Industrial training are going, I understand majority of the students do not go for industrial training. They bring false certificate. It is not going to help them. It may be okay to get the degree, but ultimately not going to help them. They are deceiving themselves. They are deceiving the institution. They are deceiving the parents. Practical training. I am standing here on this platform because of the rigorous practical training which I have undergone in India and abroad. I have undergone practical training in 12 organizations, and I have the appointment letter of those 12 organizations with me, lying in my file. Now, practical training is very important. And the project work, ultimately, what is that which you have done? Total application of the knowledge and skill to solve an open-ended problem. It's a very important aspect. Here also, students purchase a shortcut method of buying a project from the market by paying 2,000 rupees. So they are building the business of that man who is opening the shop, but they are not developing their own competence. Institutions must ascertain. The head of the institution, who is the managing director of that company, the head of the department is a general manager of that company. They must understand that these are very important aspects. So whole education is very, very difficult process, very complex process. So very seriousness is required. Those institutions will survive who follow proper curriculum implementation and students get employed. If the students do not get employed, the engineering colleges, nobody will come. They will prefer to have a vegetable shop rather than coming to an engineering college. Now, then we must also see feedback to be given to the type of student, curriculum and type of student. We have made a good curriculum, but it is have not been made taking input requirement into viewpoints that need to be taken care. So we have to think what changes, where are the gaps? Are the gaps in the processes, in the resources? I am very happy resources are very good in our country today. But there is a gap here in the faculty. Faculty needs a lot of training, I already given a lot of stress. And except lecture work and some conducting some examinations, solve 5 questions out of 8. These things have not been given desired seriousness as yet. We are not making our student, do not allow our student to think. We do not make them to learn by themselves. They will learn through assignments, seminars, problem solving skills. It will come through project work. So these are the things which are very important, and we are not giving a very serious thought towards this. There can be a number of problems at the institute level also. I'm not saying that, but we have to make an effort to see. We must understand that curriculum process does not mean lecturing only. I hope I have made myself clear about the systems model. Then the management is there. Management also need to be very open. They should understand the educational implications of on all these things. And then, if we follow in letter and spirit, this system is going to improve. I move further. There is a disadvantage of ICT program. I am active. I do not know whether my friends sitting at the 4 or 5 locations, they are with me or not, because I am not able to see their faces. I have not come here to deliver a lecture. That means I make it very clear. I have come here to explain to you what goes in curriculum implementation. If delta X I am able to add to your memory, I'll feel that my time, the day which I spent to come and go back to my college, I have contributed something. Teaching itself is a very noble job, and it requires a lot of efforts at the part of principal, at the part of head of the department, at the part of faculty, at the part of even class force employee. He has the responsibility to keep the institution neat and clean. So all this goes in curriculum implementation. I move ahead. I hope that my friends are noting down on their pads certain questions which they would like to ask me. Not that I have answer for everything, because it is very easy to say something, but when you come at the grassroots level, their things are much different. But I am a person who is working in the live situation. After my retirement, I have either worked in the engineering college or polytechnics, mostly in the engineering colleges. So I'm whatever experiencing, whatever I have experienced and implemented, only that I'm teaching you. Now, going to next. Now, please now I have explained. Many times I ask, what is the role of the principal? What is the role of the principal? People talk about he will mark the attendance, take the attendance, keep record, this thing, this thing. They are all sundry. That is not his role. Role of the principal is, I read to you slowly and slowly. The role of the principal is to manage physical, I have talked earlier, human, informational, energy and financial resources for effective curriculum implementation. It means teacher training. It means providing those experiences for leading to gainful employment of students at the institute level. It means the principal is the manager of the whole institution. He is, when talking in terms of self-financing institutions, I am primarily government institutions normally are nothing today. Self-financing institution, management and the principal, heads of department and faculty have to move together. So that these resources which I talked about are made available to the faculty, and the principal manages this. He is the manager, and teacher, he see that the effective instructions are taking place or not, and his students are getting employment or not. If I am manufacturing a pen and I am the owner of a company, I am the principal or the managing director of the company. If my pen is not sellable, then my company is going to be closed. Understand it very well. My all students who is paying a very heavy fee, they must get employment. Whether wage employment or self-employment, whatever the case may be, minimum their parents are looking that they are made, that their parents stand, their students stand on their own legs. That is the whole crux of the problem. It's not merely satisfying my needs. Student must get employment. So students have a role. Principal has to see that the resources are such that the teacher are able to conduct their instructions very well, so that competencies are developed in the students for gainful employment. This is the role of the principal. The role of the head of department is the same, but it is limited at the department level. The role is limited at the department level. If his or her students are not employed, you will ask me how we cannot make the student to learn, but you have to go follow everything. Provide varying learning experiences. Take care. I will give you certain solutions which I am doing at my college. The role of the faculty is written here. It is a process, not the marking attendance, this thing, that thing, are all trivial activities. The role of the faculty is to provide very varied learning experiences to the students to develop appropriate competency in them. Now, competency can be summarized in a couple of words. Developing in them the thinking ability, developing in them learning to learn skills. They learn by themselves. We have to make them learners, for which there are strategies. And we have to make them problem solvers. After all, there are some soft skills, communication skills, very important, interpersonal skills, working in teams. Those things are also important. But superior things are, there is nothing called superior or inferior again. But everything is superior. They are all mixed. They make a person. The role of the faculty is to train people like that. Each faculty member need to plan tutorial experiences, graded exercises, laboratory experiences, very difficult. Drawing classes, workshop classes, industrial training, supervise. It's not like sending students to industry in summer vacation. Well, okay, summer vacation, but teachers also need to go along with the students to see whether whatever she has taught, they are able to. Many times I ask a question, why are you teaching? Because there are plenty of holidays. I can take my rest. I can be comfortable. Teaching is the most difficult job, my dear friend. kindly pardon me when using these words, but teaching I found I'm running 75 years of my life, I found teaching is the very most difficult job. It requires your blood and sweat when you are a teacher. Most difficult job is the teaching job. Industry job is very simple, routine job you are doing, and you are imitating also, doing nothing. You look busy, do nothing. But in teaching, you can't afford to do that. Pardon, sir? Of course. Of course. My mentor is telling me the role of the students. The students, if they do not come with a purpose of studying scientifically, not missing a single class, if they don't have an objective. They are coming for Nanmataka, excuse me to say so. I mean, just go to the college and waste the parents' money. We have taken the entire responsibility on ourselves. Pay everything, whatever my ward want. But he must get a degree. Well, students have a lot of responsibility in this game. Their parents are to me, when my students were studying in the college, I would spend everything for them. But what I want to see them, that they come out so good from the college and they have their job or their own industry or the self-employed, but they must be on their legs. No parent has ever expected that their children will give them something. They want them to make them independent. So students have a great role to utilize their time in actual learning, in the laboratories, in the workshops, library. That is the temple where you can groom your students. Now, just to give you a bird's eye view, this is a very important diagram picture in front of you. Uh, it's not possible for me to develop a great deal of that, but still, you see, this is what the industry wants. Industry wants some knowledge, comprehension of the knowledge, application of the knowledge, problem solving, evaluating whether things are right, creating or innovating something new, learning to learn skills, report writing skills, some skills, psychomotor skills, communication skills, interpersonal skills, attitudes and values, proper attitudes and values. Now, this is what the industry wants. This is what the society wants. This is everybody wants this kind of thing. Now, how can they be trained? I mentioned lecture, learning experiences. Lecture. See, lecture, you can only provide some knowledge. You see, if you go like that, you find lecture only contribute to this. You may ask from NITT or Chandigarh the copy of it, or you can purchase one of the book, which is Applied Aspect of Education Technology, Applied Aspect of Education Technology, printed by S. Chandok. We don't get any royalty on it, please don't mistake me, but it's a book which is very simple and which provide you basics of these things. Now, lecture only supplement to give certain inputs, but tutorials, you see, comprehension can be developed, application can be developed, analytical abilities can be developed. Then go to laboratories. In the laboratories you see and workshops, these faculties like comprehension will be developed, applying application will be developed, problem solving will be developed, evaluating will be developed, creating will be developed, learning to learn will be, of course, report writing will develop, psychomotor skills will develop, attitudes and value will develop. When you give laboratory experience, it's so important. Industrial training, seminars, industrial training, mostly give everything if taken seriously. And the project work, give everything. All these faculty will be built up with the project work. But nobody can do project work industrial training if one does not know the previous knowledge and skill. I must tell my dear friend very honestly that whatever I am today and standing before you is because of rigorous industrial training and the problem which I have solved for the industry. Otherwise, I would have not been able to stand on this platform. Now, this I call as metrics of teaching learning process. This need a dialogue between me and the faculty to understand this diagram thoroughly well. But what I wanted to make you understand that industrial experiences, project work, and laboratory work is the heart of engineering education. You may keep on lecturing, it will not help the system. Students will not get the confidence. So skills are the most skill, cognitive skills and psychomotor skills are very, very important for the students. Because as I mentioned to you, the disadvantage of ICT mode is I do not know what you are doing. I cannot see your faces also, but at the same time, I am transmitting my viewpoint to you. Some of the pictures I am seeing, some of my dear friends into the institution, colleges, I am seeing that they are listening me or doing some work. I hope that what I am talking to you, I am talking from the core of my heart. And this is my live experience I am sharing with you. This is what exactly I am doing in my college. I've been doing in my college. And education, teaching students in the engineering colleges and polytechnics is my blood. So therefore, what I am transmitting you is not theoretical knowledge, but the knowledge which I felt should be transmitted to you, so it must be beneficial to you. Going ahead, it is therefore, kindly I am reading for you, it is therefore essential that teaching learning process should lay greater focus on student-centered learning. I keep on asking, what is student-centered learning? Tutorial work, drawing work, it is they will do. Workshop practice, laboratory experiences, seminars, assignments, practical training or industrial training, project work. More efforts, more focus should be centered towards this. Until we put focus on this, I tell you, we will not be able to produce good engineers or diploma engineers from this country. Very, very important. So essence is develop to see that these things are implementable. Now, another thing, the students who are in the college, as a deliberate policy of the institute, need to be after second year, 2 days or 1 day after second year, expository phase. Show them how the world of work looks like departmentally, not as an excursion. It is a planned procedure. I am going to show certain these things in this before the third semester. After the second semester, before third semester, there must be a 2 to 3 days expository oriented. Maybe you can make a film also if you like. You can expose them through the film, but it is better to take them to the direct situation. See that this does not become an excursion. It is a planned visit. Visit 3 to 4 places. Say, for example, I being a civil engineer, I will show one building under construction, one multi-story building under construction. I will show them a water treatment plant. I will show them a sewage treatment plant. I will show them a road under construction. I will show them hydraulic structures. I will show them. So they will have, just like when you see a movie of 3 hours in a cinema hall, that movie gets registered in your mind. It helps you to learn. So expose them, show them a film of the world of work. I call it expository oriented work bench involvement. After fourth semester, there are sometimes minimum 4 weeks task oriented work bench. Give the student tasks. You make a drawing, read the drawing, make estimating costing, but you make these 4 weeks task oriented workbench involvement. It necessarily does not mean sending them to industry. Give them tasks which are required to be done by the student as engineers or diploma engineers. Now, and these 4 weeks of practical training, let them do that work either for in the industry or in the institution. Or ascertain from them what are your weaknesses. He says, I weak in drawing. Okay, now do drawing in 4 weeks. He says, I have not performed some experiments, sir. Okay, perform experiments now. It is that kind of thing I'm talking about. And in the sixth semester after that, you make problem solving oriented workbench involved. Problem solving. So there must be some problem. Wastage of electricity, wastage on the shop floor, then optimum utilization of resources. I mean, I can compose 100 questions right now, but that's not the purpose. It must be problem solving. They must do some certain thing which are of interest to the industry and academic interest to the student, and then obtain a feedback again. See whether what has happened in this type of learning. This is very, very important. One more thing I may say here, that in the third and fourth semester actual teaching starts, that technology courses. We must plan at least one visit here one visit here, subjects को मिला के, one visit here, one, not just going to the as a kind of session, specific visit to building construction, specific visit to learn certain aspects must take place. Then there are certain things very important here. I'm skipping this page. It talks about the evaluation system, which I'm skipping. Uh, Now I'm closing here my session by saying that to the extent possible, when we are teaching in the classroom situation, we see that we make the teaching learning process student centered. More time should be devoted by the students in tutorials, etc., what I talk about. I would be very happy, and I have experimented in my own college. We give certain problems to the students. Say, for example, degree program in civil engineering. We give them 16 to 20 assignments. If the students are able to do these assignments, he will be a good civil engineer based on the different semesters. These the students must do. They must give a seminar depending upon the strengths which they have. Like that, the curriculum implementation, it takes place. I'm sure that people can have my email ID. I tell you, and I can send you some little material. Those who ask from me, and furthermore questions, because there is a limitation of ICT mode. My email ID is LN. L means Lucknow, N means Nagpur. My name is Lakshmi Narayan. LN Mittal, 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 LN Mittal, underscore 2010 at the rate yahoo.com. At the rate yahoo.com. This is my email ID. My mobile number is 092 92921 550 5250 921 550 5250. Now, because I do not know the faces, I don't know the names. In them, if you write an email to me for further dialogue, you must mention that you attended a program in NITTR ICT program. I was a participant. I will then recollect. Though I have not seen your faces, but I will recollect. You want to make a call to me, you please do so. As and when I am free, most normally I take teachers with the interaction with teachers is my first priority. I will, if until I am in my own class or I am in a subject meeting, and then I will tell you at what time I will call back to you. Timings are very important for me, please. When you fix up a time with me, you must see that at that time I make myself free and you make yourself free. So you can interact with me. It's a very important subject. I have not talked to you. Concept of use means how to apply the knowledge, how to make use of the knowledge and skill in solving practical problems. Many more things. This time was limited and the theme was also limited. Within this, I hope, well, I enjoyed talking to you without seeing your faces. I definitely enjoyed, and a couple of teachers are sitting in front of me. I hope something I must have contributed for them. But teaching job is such that which nobody can compensate. Money may not be available, but teachers are getting good salary too. My personal wish is, if I do not know these theories, if I die, after that, if I want to, God make me, God if sitting somewhere, want to make me a human being, I still like to be a teacher because I have enjoyed my teaching for the last 50 years very much. I'd like to be a teacher again and teacher again throughout my life. With these words, I thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you very much.